Best Rocky? Let's find out. Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked on Rockies podcast for today. I am Paul Holden, and my mic levels seem a little low, so hopefully that helps out there. Let me see. Hello. It's a little bit better. I don't want to mess too much. It might be a little quiet, folks, so sorry on this one. Interesting. Haven't seen that one before, but that's the beauty of doing this show live on YouTube. This show is the Locked on Rockies podcast. We thank you for making us your first listen of the day. We are your daily source for Colorado Rockies content daily, most of the time. I will give a little bit of a sneak preview here coming up towards the end of the month. You might see us stepping back just a little bit. We're going to go switch into a little bit of an off-season mode here at the end of the month towards the holidays. Holiday season content stuff for everyone kind of slows down a little bit. But we're going to take just a little bit of a slowdown. You will still get Rockies podcasts every week. You will still get multiple Rockies podcasts every week. You will still have to listen to this guy multiple times every week, which I thank you. And for the YouTube audience, here we go. There's my nice little overlay thing. My name is Paul Holden. I am the host of the Locked on Rockies podcast. You can probably expect 3 to 4 pods a week here when we get to the end of the month. Sometimes I have some stuff come up anyway, and you all have seen it. And you all are so good anyway. It's so nice. The audience that I have found that we have, and I want to get more engaged and involved with you all on Twitter. And today's big theme, actually, it comes from a Rockies Twitter account that had a lot of engagement. So I'm going to give a lot of shout outs to those who checked out. We're gonna head over to Rockies Daily at Rockies_Daily. They asked the question to their fans and their followers. In your opinion, who is the best current Rocky, not including Trevor Story? So we're going to dive into that on today's thing. But you all are so great with downloads and listening and still tuning in. It's been awesome. And so, please let me know. Tweet at LO Rockies what I can do to make this show more community engaged, more involved with what you guys want and gals and non-binary pals have to your input, your thoughts, your feedback. I'd love to know what you all out there want to see from me and the show. Got to pull Stugatz here. Yeah, so please reach out to me at LO Rockies. You can reach out to me directly on Twitter too, but at LO Rockies, and it's like, bam, there it is, focused, all my Rockies stuff right there. And we like to have some fun on the Twitter every now and then. But the other thing is the off season is going to be. It's going to be a tough one. This lockout is really going to make things difficult in terms of fresh, new, and exciting stuff that comes from baseball activities in the off season. So we're gonna have some fun doing that. And I think today's podcast is going to be a great example of that. So that's my little bit of housekeeping, my little bit of notes for the start of the show. But let's start. Let's start our conversation here at Rockies Daily, at Rockies_Daily, I should say. A great daily Rockies account. They know what they're doing. They know how it is talking about the Rockies all the time. They post the question, in your opinion, who is the best current Rocky, not including Story? I'll give my take after we go through these answers here. At OGB Will says Zach Veen. And Rockies Daily responds, we can't wait to see him reach the big leagues. He's tearing it up in the minors. Zach Veen is very exciting. The potential of the outfield paying off, and all the hardship and all the flack that we give, we have to be excited because this team, if players do end up well after drafting and developing, that is exciting. I just make the argument all the time with that is it's just a risk. It's just a bigger risk, and I want the Rockies to go after more surefire major league players sometimes in their transactions just because they're major league players. Now, on the flip side, the Rockies farm system still has a lot of work to do. I don't think it's as in a bad of place as it used to be. It's getting better, but it's still not a beloved or not a really, blow you away farm system. But Zach Veen is very exciting, and the early stuff from Benny Montgomery it sounds good, but Benny is very far off. But Zach Veen coming soon should be fun, and I think will be a really nice piece to fit in with this. It's going to be a younger, new look Rockies going forward. It's going to be a completely different identity, for the team. As we know, and as we've seen, really Charlie Blackmon and Ryan McMahon are the final pieces, and Ryan McMahon's kind of on the border of the position players that were making regular contributions and appearances to the competitive window for the Rockies there a couple years ago and the success of the team. Obviously, the rotation was there. That's the staple. Losing John Gray, that changes the identity a bit now. So that Rockies rotation is going to look more different than we have seen in years past. Instead of just having a question mark of who's kind of being the fourth, the fifth arm. Now with Gomber coming in for a full year of actually being in the organization, I'm always interested to see with players after they come in their second year after a free agency signing or a trade. That's the true sign of what the player is going to be like and how it's going to pan out for the Rockies. But yes, we are excited about Zach Veen, but. Isaac Torres, Eyes for Life, says it's Ryan without a question, and we all know it is. Darren Copeland at Darren_Copeland also posted a picture between Ryan McMahon, Go Rocks 99, toss up between Rymac and Erman. So let's start there, and it's pretty. You can make the argument that Ryan McMahon is the best player on the Rockies. I think if I was in the position, if I was in the position where it said you can have any Rockies player right now on the roster, not counting Trevor Story because he is technically a free agent. He's not on the Rockies. I think I would still pick Erman. But that's tough because what you're getting in any team in Major League Baseball would love to have Ryan McMahon. The Rockies are extremely excited and honestly extremely lucky to go from Nolan Arenado to another Gold Glove finalist and should have been Gold Glove winner in Ryan McMahon at third base and anywhere else you really put him in the infield. Ryan McMahon is a special player. I just want him to get that consistent offense. That is the one thing from that I think is getting in the way of Ryan McMahon and being a superstar in Major League Baseball. The guy can play incredible defense, and he can play it all over the diamond. And there's value in that. You know what I mean? It's like you'll never see Nolan Arenado not at third base. It's kind of interesting that people want to and for me. Moving Trevor Story is interesting too, but I think the health stuff that's an interesting question you got to ask for Trevor Story. But Ryan McMahon, it's kind of like, yeah, we'll play him at third. We'll play him at. I want him to be the third baseman. We've talked many times about this. I don't want Ryan McMahon being the shortstop, but Ryan McMahon can play shortstop. Ryan McMahon can play second base, and not only can he play those positions, he can play those positions at an elite level. Ryan McMahon is an elite defender. I want Ryan McMahon to just, to be totally honest, I want his offseason to be about the cage. And here's the deal, folks. He still was a good hitter. Batting .254, 23 home runs, 86 RBIs, OPS of 779. But it can be, that's where it's just kind of like, That's the thing that where it's like, if I was to take one player from the Rockies and what I'd want, Erman is an all-star pitcher. Ryan McMahon needs a little more offense, and then he is a certified all-star, and he can be there. But, man, Ryan McMahon, easily, when you're looking at the position players, he might be the best position player that the Rockies have. Let's keep checking out your picks on Rockies Daily's question of, in your opinion, who is the best current Rocky? And I'll keep breaking down my thoughts of it. But first, does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friends log in for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite movies, sports, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directv.com. That's directv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. We are talking about the best Rockies on the Rockies roster. This is a little fun. I wanted to bring a little fun to the show this week. I as much fun as it was ranting and raving last week, I felt like I spent a lot of time up on my soapbox with a lot of like rah! Going on, but necessary though. Let me be clear. I'm not backing down. But this just seemed like a little Monday, a little easy listener, a little something where we can see what some Rockies fans are talking about. Back to at Rockies Daily, at Rockies_Daily, the thread of best Rockies players from Rockies fans here. Chuck Nasty from Rockies fan 7, Dorothy Starr. McCool says, Charlie Blackmon, I expect a big bounce back here if there is a season in 2022. Interesting. I mean, Charlie Blackmon is a Colorado Rockies legend. He is a leader on that team, and he is an important part of this team. I think it's good that Charlie Blackmon is still a prominent piece of the Rockies. However, Charlie Blackmon is far from the best player on the Rockies because that defense is so bad, folks. His defense is really, really bad. You can't be basically a negative player in the field and be considered the best player on your team. I mean, Ryan McMahon is a much better defender. He's he might not swing it as well as Charlie Blackmon, with a little bit lower of the batting average, but he still just doesn't give you enough. Let's take a look here as a fielder. He just is simply it's like all of the stats here are just kind of like negative for Charlie Blackmon when it comes to defensive statistics. It's just, we've seen it. There's no argument. I don't need to dive too much into it. However, I think we will see. I think a Charlie Blackmon resurgence is possible as long as he can get back to hitting the fastball. Charlie Blackmon has to be able to hit the fastball again and get back into doing what he does best and is swinging it. And I've said this before. Please, make the DH a thing. I'm sorry. We'll talk. We'll do an episode about DH things. I think it'd be nice to maybe bring Sully on. He's the big pitcher's hit guy. But if Charlie Blackmon can just hit, that is a benefit for the Rockies. That is something, because the Rockies clear up an outfield spot to figure out what they want to do with the outfield, depending on what their move for the outfield. They're going to get some outfielder. I don't think, after we saw some of the stuff that Nick Castellanos is asking for, the Rockies are not going to give Nick Castellanos an 8-year deal. There's no way that the Rockies are going to go out for an outfielder and shell out a ton of money in a long-term contract for that when your top 2 prospects are outfielders. Just not going to happen. So what that does is it just allows for the Rockies to figure out what they have with outfielders they already have potentially, and see who they can put in right field. But me personally, it's becoming clear to me, if the Rockies were to make a good move, or what I think would be a good idea, get Chris Bryant for 2 years to play right field. And just to have him there and play good enough defense, and hopefully he can just swing it, and him and Charlie can just be a nice, force there. And then you give yourself the time to get your youngsters up there and in the league and give them some time. But you can't sign. The Rockies need an impact bat in the outfield, but it can't come at what it can't come at the cost of limiting Zach Veen's playing time. We've seen far too many great Rockies prospects not get playing time, and let's hold on to that thought because this is going to come up here in a little, because Blake Street Banter says, B-Rod, next question. Brendan Rodgers next year could become the Rockies' best player. It all depends on how Ryan McMahon is at the dish. But Brendan Rodgers, if he stays healthy and doesn't have to worry about losing playing time to whoever, whatever infield they were rolling out there for a bit with trying to figure things out with Fuentes at third and Ryan McMahon at second. I mean, Brendan Rodgers has the potential to really break out in 2022 and be someone really, really key for the Rockies. And I'm excited. I am very excited by Brendan Rodgers. I know it's been a while. I know he's been hurt, but it's been a while because this is the Rockies' plan. And this is what I was just talking about. Sometimes the Rockies need to become less committed to seasoned vets or whatever that aren't performing. If you're not performing, you have to have a shorter leash to let these younger guys come out and see it. Because now that Brendan Rodgers actually has gotten playing time, wow, pretty darn good at the game of baseball, and we're pretty excited by that. Ryan McMahon and Brendan Rodgers in the infield is still exciting, and it still shows that the Rockies have elite infield defenders, or possible elite. And well, Ryan McMahon is an elite defender, but Brendan Rodgers still younger, still need to figure some stuff out, but still showed some really, really great plays and some potential out there that I'm very excited by Brendan Rodgers. He is my top Rockies player to watch next year easily. He is someone I am out of all, I'm pumped for everyone, but Brendan Rodgers is high on my list of Rockies to keep an eye on for next year. He's going to be tons of fun, I think. Let's see. We got a couple of Aaron Rodriguez at Aaron Rod 1980 and at the Sporting Truth say CJ Cron. I that's not a bad pick. It's a safe pick. I think Ryan McMahon is better than CJ Cron, but when you're going statistically, CJ Cron was the best Rocky in a lot of categories last year. Not if you're going just by wins above replacement, that's not true. So but if you're looking at a lot of offensive statistical categories and factors, CJ Cron led the team in a lot of areas last year. CJ Cron is a great impact on the team. I'm a big fan of the signing, and that's you know what? Like, we didn't need. I think Rockies fans maybe we're used to a big first baseman, at least for most of the franchise's history with Todd Helton, and it's been very tough post Todd Helton. It's just nice to see CJ Cron come in and do what a first baseman's supposed to do and perform and be a first baseman. No experiment. No big, it's a fine contract in terms of length, in terms of what you want from CJ Cron. This is good. I mean, it's just nice. I want to see CJ Cron do it again. That is my whole thing with Rockies free agents. And like I said before, it's just one of those places where I feel like people that come and spend 2 or 3, 4 years in Coors Field can really ride a roller coaster. But I think CJ Cron is great. And even if he doesn't lead the team in all offensive categories, which I hope he doesn't, because that's not a good thing. He's going to be he's a nice solid piece, and it's really good. The Rockies infield, it's nice that the Rockies infield is still solid with the potential to get better, depending on what happens at shortstop. So let's see. Running out of time here. Not a lot of. There's a couple of ones here for some Herman Marquez. Herman Marquez is, again, probably my pick. If I was to pick one Rocky to start my team, it would be Herman Marquez. That he has so much potential, and he's such a good arm, and he's, when you pitch it at one of the most difficult places to pitch, it does give you a chip on your shoulder. But so if it comes to pitchers, it's Herman. But going through, we're kind of running out of time here today. But let's see. A lot of Ryan McMahon. Seems like a lot of Ryan McMahon, a lot of Herman Marquez. And I would say it's a tie between Rymac and Herman Marquez from the fans here on at Rockies Daily. Super fun, Rockies Daily. Thank you for doing that. Gave me a whole show. I mean, there's so That's what is exciting about the Rockies. That's what is fun about the Rockies. The Rockies have some nice solid pieces. People that don't know anything. We saw it this last season. People who don't know a lot about the Rockies are like, whoa, when the Rockies do well. But it's not that surprising when you look at the Rockies that were doing well. The Rockies need to do better. The Rockies need to do more. And we'll see that. But there are players to be excited about and enthused by on the Rockies. There's just other players that aren't up to snuff, aren't performing well, and that's what the Rockies need to address. But we can't sit here and say that the Rockies don't have some solid players. And shout out to Ken Goldman as well. He says, Joe, we just don't know yet. Connor Joe, please be the. That is the guy. I know Brendan Rodgers is the one I'm most excited about, but I am really interested in Connor Joe. I think not only did we see some really good flashes of stuff during the season, I think he fits the Rockies' identity. I think he fits the Rockies' mindset. I think with how quickly fans fell in love with him, if he's able to perform, he can really add something to this new generation of Rockies, which I think would be lots of fun. Plus, keeping the Rockies tradition of strong mullets alive. Maybe that's what I'll do for spring training or something. Maybe I'll do like a follower goal closer to the start of the season. I'll go with the mullet. I'll join in on the Rockies mullet train. Maybe we'll do that. Could be fun. Folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you all for tuning in and for checking out Rockies Daily's Twitter feed. Look at that. We were able to get it. And I didn't even get to everyone. And I mean, this is a good conversation to have. And it's encouraging that Rockies fans are still this engaged with the Rockies and the team in this offseason. The Rockies really do have good fans out there. And you all show it by your support of this podcast as well. So thank you all so much for tuning into the Locked On Rockies podcast. We are free and streaming on all your favorite services. And I completely dropped the ball on this one. But before we go, I got to tell you about our friends at Built Bar. This holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar. Built Bar, filled with so much holiday goodness. Rich with decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. That's the big deal for me, folks, is the sugar. That is the big one for me. These are a great alternative to help with that sweet tooth like mine. So many flavors, you'll have a hard time choosing. Will you have raspberry or mint brownie, cherry or double chocolate, cookies and cream, or peanut butter brownie? Built Bar gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something to keep you going. So throw one in your jacket or purse. You never know when you're going to need it. Go to Built.com. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Go to Built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. What a deal. Promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your order at Built.com. Thank you all again for listening. Thanks for joining us here. Coming up on the show this week, honestly, I'm not 100% sure what's always going to come, because with the lockout and with all this stuff, it's going to take some creativity. It's going to take some conversations. And honestly, I encourage you, if you want to be part of the show, if you follow the Rockies, if you cover the Rockies, if you want to talk about the Rockies, let's talk about the Rockies. Get a hold of me. I'm at Paul Holden 33. The show's at LO Rockies. And DMs always open. All that good stuff. Like I said at the top of the show, the more community building I can do, the better. I struggle with promoting. I record a bunch of stuff. I got to do something, and I know I need to do more. It's part of my job. I got to be, I got to tell you guys what's going on. So I got to tell guys, got to be up there saying everything and making sure you all know where to find the stuff and find the pods and all that good stuff. But still, please, feedback, anything. Let me know how I can be a better host for all of you. I'm always down to chat. Too. Tweet at LO Rockies if you ever have a question. I'll tweet back at you. let's have some fun. Let's go through the offseason together. Let's figure out the Colorado. Whoa, that was a fun one. Let's figure out the Colorado Rockies together. But folks, thank you all so much for joining me. And that is going to do for today's episode of the Locked On Rockies podcast. This will be up on our YouTube channel here. Honestly, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, good chance you can catch the podcast recording live when I do it, because it makes things really easy to upload to YouTube. Makes it pretty quick for me to get the episodes up faster, I think. So hopefully I'm not missing a step or something. But folks, for the Locked On Rockies podcast, this is Paul Holden saying so long. For your second listen, go win some money with Locked On Bets. Until next time, I'm Paul Holden, signing off.